with the Rise Group. And like how we want to give back. And one of the things we want to do is we want to build a supportive network that spans across classes, and that is also easily accessible, where you can ask for advice from whoever, and you can ask for like a referral, or you can pretty much leverage it as like whatever is needed. This is the beginning of that. We're gonna host skill sharing sessions every month, so people know, for example, if you want to ask for advice when it comes to Airtable, you can reach out to Rafa. And it's also a way for all of us to know that, we're here to help, we're here to give back. Everybody in this community is invested in each other's success. Okay, next slide. Okay, so to kick it off, I'm gonna introduce Rafa, one of our current VFAmilia leads. He's a 2021 VFA Tulsa Fellow, working as a data management specialist with Ted C. Creative Capital. Okay, go for it.
All right. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Feel free to interrupt me like whenever you guys want to. I'm just here sharing what I've learned at TDC and through the fellowship. It's taken a long time to like learn about Airtable, but it's an easy product that I think can help you in a lot of ways. So I know though a lot of us know each other already, I still wanted to kind of like provide a little bit of my background so that I don't know, you can know me a little bit more too. So I grew up in a small family business in Pine Top, Arizona. It's kind of like a ski resort town in Arizona, not what most people think of when they think of Arizona. Not Tucson. Shout out Max if you're out there. It's not as warm. But yeah, like I said, it was a small family business, so did everything. It was kind of like in hospitality, like little cabin rental place. So did everything from like cleaning rooms to like landscaping to like taking care of the office to getting on software like Expedia and marketing. It was kind of a lot, but I mainly love landscaping the most, just because it's nice to like make gardens and stuff beautiful. Um, and after that, I went on to study mechanical engineering at Notre Dame. Shout out my grandma and my great aunt for being there with me on my first day. And I really like processes and robotics and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of like why I studied mechanical engineering. There's me. I did like the internships at a power plant, which is like the pinnacle of like mechanical engineering. Uh, I really like seeing like how everything comes together, like 2,000-degree fireball with water creating energy, and how all the systems are super precise and trying to be as efficient as possible. I thought it was cool. I did work at some startups afterwards and kind of got more interested in that. But what really was like one of the, I don't know, things that kind of led me towards Venture for America and like my career is SHIP, which is the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. And I'm not sure if anybody else was in SHIP. If so, feel free to go off mute and shout out SHIP. I know Araceli was in, so shout out Araceli. But SHIP like is providing resources to to engineers and people like who want to go into like STEM fields, anywhere from like high school to like there was people who were like 60 and plus like at the conferences, and it's just everyone is really sharing resources to become better engineers. And that's kind of like the company that I landed at was TDC Creative Capital, and their mission is to like provide like resources to entrepreneurs, to help them build with business plans, with access to capital, and to help them grow their business through like SBA loans and like other grants and programs. And here's like the fellows in Tulsa for anyone who doesn't know the fellows there. They're like one of the greatest communities and that I've had. And like I'm very grateful for Venture for America for introducing me to these people and the people in VFA Latinx and all across VFA. So at TDC, kind of going to explain the background a little bit of like where Airtable and the use came from. So Tulsa, I was one of the first fellows in Tulsa. I was actually the first one to move to Tulsa, and then like 9 other fellows moved during the first year. Now we're down to 5, but that's another point. So my company hired 4 fellows at the same time. There was one who was doing marketing. Me, I was the only operations associate in the company. Someone who was doing kind of like research support for borrowers and different prospective borrowers, and someone who was doing programming and like helping create academies for like entrepreneurs. Shout out Kai. And we had a 5th fellow who was with another program, but they were doing community engagement. And all of these roles kind of interact with a lot of the company, and like you kind of need like to understand who your borrowers are and like who's coming in the pipeline and who the community partners are. And like it says right here, like our team went from 5 employees and like late 2020 to like 28 by the time we were hired. So that was all in 8 months, and it was because we led like the effort of like distributing a lot of like the federal funds, forgivable loans, and like reset program for the state of Oklahoma. And a lot of like we focused a lot on Tulsa. We dispersed like $60 million of that. And it was all like using like paper and pencil, and applications were passed by hand, and it was a lot. And the team increased. I feel like operations didn't scale as much, so there was a lot of like difficulty with like knowing who's where and who's who. And then when we were adding 2 new teams for education, which is like where a lot of the fellows landed, like that's kind of where like a lot of these issues with like not having a central database kind of like started to come out. Also, I just saw the chat. What's up, Josie? Hope we doing all right.
I'm doing great. How's it going?
Nice. 100. Yeah.
Nice.
It's actually like super nice in Tulsa today. It was like 75, and like it's been like below 40s like all week before.
Okay,
so
don't rub it in
nice.
now. Don't rub it in, okay? It's
There-
freezing in Philly right now, so.
Sorry, yeah. Yeah. I won't. But anyways, yeah, so the fellows, we went to work, man. We researched a ton of like different software tools and like try to brainstorm a lot of like new processes. This is an ideation session that we had in Tulsa. Shout out ideation sessions. I loved them. We got rid of them, but still loved them. And we started building like MVPs using Airtable, and like creating a lot of different things. And I know Airtable, some of you guys might not even know what Airtable is. A lot of you guys might have a ton of experience in Airtable. So I'm kind of just going to go through like a high level of what it is. And what it is basically like different databases that you can like grab information from one database and like pull it to another, and like kind of organize data in columns and connect it together so that you can kind of like tell a story or like make decisions or like follow tracks or product. And it's very super helpful for like marketing and like reporting. And it's something that's like changed a lot of our company. Here it is again. It kind of shows like the different parts of a company, like feeding into like grabbing information from different parts and like feeding to each other. And Airtable is a no-code tool that helps you build projects and organize data quickly and effectively. And its mission is kind of like break down data silos and make like creating apps available to all, so that teams working across several sectors can share information, and that helps you with like decision making for like marketing and like seeing what's effective and what's not, for data analysis, and in our case, our company's doing like an impact report where we're trying to see like what's the impact of our work over time, and also like project management and like tracking tasks. So there's a lot of different things that Airtable could do. You can like create calendars and sync it to Outlook or Google, and it updates it with that. And this can be like for a day or for a month or for a year if you wanted to. Lists are kind of like one data set feeds into another data set. So like an event data would like feed, or participant data would feed into like an event. Grid views is like what you think of when you think of like a spreadsheet, like a whole bunch of rows and columns. And you can like group them together and like filter by what you want. Form views, that's where we started our database, which was with a application, and like kind of start populating stuff. You could use like surveys, whatever, to start populating your database. Kanban, which is just like if you have a task and you're moving it through like Asana. Gantt chart if you have like a bigger project and you're breaking it down into chunks. Pretty effective in like engineering and like creating a product. Timeline is super helpful for like our academies and something that's like 12 weeks, and then you can see like multiple of them, and like so you're planning too many things at the same time. Galleries, like if you have a lot of cards and you're kind of like, if you have products or some kind of thing and like you're looking at several products and you can like look at the information. And interface is like what's the closest thing to like an app. It has like, it looks like a website, it's like a web page, and it's like an interface. So this is kind of like where we started on the left, the form. And we had like 20 questions on here and got all their information and demographic information as well. And whenever you fill out a form, and you may have seen this, like Venture for America also uses Airtable in some cases. Whenever you fill out a form, it like populates a database. And then you can like filter by certain stages or by like certain statuses or by whatever you want. That's a drop-down menu. And then like kind of organize the data as you want. So something that's like an applicant tracking system could cost you like thousands of dollars, but with Airtable, in a matter of like an hour, you can create a really like strong and powerful kind of like applicant tracking system to go through like different stages. And like you can link that, as you see right here, these little squares are linked to like all the different programs and academies that we have, which are linked to the different like mentors leading each academy. The pitch nights are linked to the applicants. So you can start linking stuff like pretty easily and smoothly. And we have like community contacts, and then like pre and post surveys. They're also like filled out by a form, and they're linking to like the applicant. So you start kind of creating your like CRM and database, which could like, it's very, it could be very simple and very powerful to tell your story. And this is one of the coolest parts, is like with like 2 buttons, you can drop a graph or whatever and like show like your progress over time. You can show like the people that you're helping. Here we kind of show like the different income limits and attainment of like educational attainment people that we're helping, different races and genders. And see, this is like a timeline. So we're like kind of tracking like all the different programs going on. Before this, we were like, whenever we were tracking like classes, it was just a mess, because the only person who knew about like when the class was starting or finishing was the person who was planning it. So like nobody else like could really communicate and help market for it, and it was a little bit more difficult. And this is like something that's like super huge. I don't know if any of you guys work in like programming, like creating events and stuff. But one thing that we found, which was super helpful, was like linking Airtable to Eventbrite via Zapier. And basically whenever someone would register for an event in Eventbrite, it would link it to an event that was created in Eventbrite in Airtable, so that we could like track how many people were getting signing up for events. And then using Airtable, we could send them emails and like ask for feedback. And we can also like send out a calendar for everyone to like in the company to see all the different events that are going on. So that like if somebody needed help with the business plan or anything else, then we can like address it. Julian, I see you raise your hand.
Yeah. This is super cool. So, I mean, someone like us, like we're like a small organization, like are we able to use Eventbrite and like include it with Zapier for like future events like this?
Actually, we probably can. I think I looked into it like a little bit. Like Eventbrite, you might have to like pay for like a plan in Eventbrite. Zapier is free if you like use under like, I think someone might be able to correct me, but I think it's like 100 tasks a month. If you use under that, then like it's free. And then like all you need is an API token to like connect the databases, which is like super easy to find. Once like you just like Google where's Airtable API or where's Eventbrite API.
Nice.
Yep, Zapier is free. Zapier, I love Zapier. Like it does a lot of work for me. But yeah, like it's a great tool. Were you saying something, Josie?
You saw that. I was just saying that, yeah, Zapier, it's free up until for a small business org, is it's amazing. So I actually use Zapier to connect to Airtable and our talent management platform. And we never have had to pay for it. And we've had over like to 10,000 applicants.
Wow.
So it's cool.
Wait, what software do you connect it to?
So I built a talent portal, or more like a talent, like a what's the best way to say? I guess it's like a job board. I built a job board on my company's website and then linked it through with the API token through Zapier. I honestly had to teach myself. I had no idea what I was doing. And then connected all of the data to Airtable. So when we have anyone apply to any job, it populates it and then automatically sorts it by role.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. And I bet you could almost do that with like a free Airtable subscription and like a free other subscription. I don't know, the other subscription's probably paid. But yeah, it's Zapier is a cool tool that you could look into. Airtable has a lot of like automations within it, but like Zapier connects it to like a lot of other softwares. So for anyone that doesn't know, this is kind of like what Airtable looks like. These are like the columns that I was saying. It looks much like a spreadsheet. But the thing is that everything that's in this row is connected to like this piece of data. So like if you filter and sort, then like it follows that data everywhere, and then you can open it up and like kind of like see more details. This square thing is like it's linked, so like you can link it to any other different type of information, and then you could use different fields to count and like make calculations and stuff based off of that. This is like a date field, and there's a lot of different types of fields which become like super helpful. And then like see these, each one of these is like a table. And I don't know how many of you guys know about data schemas. And there's probably a lot of you guys who know more than me about it. But Airtable kind of like creates a data schema for you when you're like connecting like one piece of information, such as events, to subject matter experts, or feedback to events, or workshop registrants to events, all to like feed into like reporting. So kind of like that's kind of what it looks like in the background. Like information is linking together to kind of like make calculations and tell a greater story. And like it could be very powerful. It's pretty cool. So I'm gonna take a quick second break. Does anyone have any questions?
Hey, Rafa, it's Jack. I have a question. You mentioned that you did a lot of research on different platforms. Can you go over like maybe a couple of the top reasons why you chose Airtable over something like maybe Monday.com or something similar to that?
Yeah, I think so. Like I love Monday. It looked really cool. It was a little bit more expensive than Airtable, and I think as you scale, it was like more expensive. And I think that Airtable, like it's much more customizable, I think, than Monday. I haven't really worked with Monday too much in the past, but it was really the cheapest option because you could start it for free and kind of like build a lot for free and then like just scale as you need. But yeah, you can import a lot of like data super easily just using like CSV files, and it'll like make the data sets for you. It's pretty easy, just like importing stuff. So that was kind of like one of the things that we looked at too. And I'm sure you can do that with Monday and stuff. But really, yeah, I think it came down. It was like free, like at the beginning. You know, it was really easy to work with and very customizable. So that's kind of what we looked at.
Was it like free for like a certain amount of accounts that could work together?
So it's free for 5 accounts to like actually work and edit.
It's better than Monday. I think Monday you can only like have one, but it can't like interface with others. No, like if you want to have like I saw
For what? Sorry. Jax, I think you cut out.
in order to have accounts that could link up together, you would have to pay. But it seems like Airtable, you might be able to, it sounds like you could maybe do an organization for free versus like just an individual account.
Yeah, but for like 5 people, It's like, and then it's free, and then you can have like other commenters and viewers for free, but like editors is like 5 for free. And then you can start syncing tables with not the, I think the free plan might allow you like 1 or something sync table, but it's like once you get to the pro plan, you can start syncing tables, and that becomes like much more powerful. Yeah, so what'd you say, Josie? Yeah, Monday's great for project management, and Airtable is good for a working database. Yeah, like if you're editing things a lot, it's super easy to edit things in Airtable.
Yep.
Yeah. So after this right here, I was kind of wondering, like, would you guys prefer to see like a demo, or like go into detail of like some of this other like features in Airtable, or I could just go through the features like really quick and then go through a demo.
I would love to see a demo at some point. I don't, whether that's now or after.
I think we should go with the demo, honestly.
Go with the demo.
Yeah, I kind of want to see that go.
Okay. All right, cool. Let's do a demo. All right, and I'll get to this other stuff. I could go through really quick if you wanted me to. These are just like different features. I'll just go through this really quick. So like Airtable connects to like 50 different softwares, Zendesk being one of them, and Jira, a whole bunch of other things. This is what an interface looks like. Basically that data set that we saw earlier, we made into like an app, and then like you can filter by whichever person's in charge. A Gantt chart is what I was mentioning earlier, that like if you have a huge project, you can break it down into steps, and then you can use like a whole bunch of automations to send people notifications as due dates come near. And you can, we use this as we were like custom building like an application system. These lightning bolts are kind of like syncing tables, so they're from like another base, and then they like bring information into something that feeds into a greater thing. So here we have the TDC strategic plan. And it's being fed by like all the technical assistance that we do, but also like all the events that we do, and like the tasks that we're completing, and like the loans that we're helping out. And that all feeds into like this strategic plan, so we can create reports and like measure with their KPIs and goals and strategies and stuff. So yeah, I kind of blew through that. If we have more questions, we can ask later, but I'm gonna go through like a quick walkthrough. Can you guys still see the screen? Yeah. Yep. Okay. Cool.
Yes.
All right. So, this is like a base that I thought might be like kind of relevant for people right now, and I could share this base with you guys afterwards. I'll find a way that I can share it the best. But like something like job search, that's something that maybe as the fellowship ends, some people are going to start looking at jobs, or for other people who the fellowship is starting up, you might start looking at jobs. So here we have like 6 different tables. Tasks, these are like things that come up, maybe like, oh, you need to submit some kind of thing to a certain company. And here's filtered by, it's not some of the ones that are completed, so you don't have to worry about the things that are done. So update LinkedIn bio, resumes, cover letters, engineering jobs, jobs in AZ, whatever. Application submissions. It has a whole bunch of different fields that I thought were like relevant to like include something like this. And what's cool with Airtable is you can like open up a record and see like, oh, type of jobs, location, company name. Yeah, like what's the status of the application? All this information, you can like have it and you can like comment on it. And if you have like a team member, like I don't have any team members in here, but you can like add them, and like it'll send like something to them, and it'll send like a Gmail to them, and they'll get a notification. See, I'm linking company members and like tasks for like things that I have to do for that company. So here's like the interactions. The different interactions that I'm like making with that company. The company team, as I was saying, like sometimes company team, sometimes like you may be talking to like 5 different Andrews at the same time, and you're like, oh, which Andrew is which? Oh, I don't know. but like you could like link it using Airtable and be like, oh, this is the Andrew who was a 4-time startup founder, and here's his LinkedIn, and here's his other information. And I don't know what tasks I have to do for this particular company. Here's the tasks, and you can like add another task by like going here and like add new task and be like, oh, I need to send them my first birthday card. I don't know. And like tomorrow send it. And then like basically it's already saved. So it's already there. And then you'll see that like it's popped up over here. And same thing with interactions. If they were to call me, then I would just say like, oh, call with Rodrigo, or I don't know, Android. So see now it's saved into there, and it even tells you where it's saved at. And then if you have any interviews, you can also set them here and like link them. If you have any resources, you can also like set them here. And what's pretty cool is like there's like dozens of different extensions and apps within Airtable. One of them that I really like is called like Web Clipper. You could go into like somewhere online and then like kind of like grab information from the website and click it. So I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Well, like we can go to this place, built in Tulsa. And then we can open up the web clicker, add new job. It's kind of great. It grabs the URL. You can put what's the type of job, VC, company name. I think Notion might also have like something similar. And then this one just whatever. That's the company websites right here. I clicked it like from the job description earlier. Then you could just like click this, and then if I had more time, you could also like just like look at the meta code and stuff, like, and then just like it'll automatically like fill this in, kind of like right here, how it like fills in some of this stuff. And then like location and Tulsa. So add this record, and basically it'll show all the information right here. Oh, Jax, you raised your hand.
Yes. I have a question. Can you actually like set up the categories so it like automatically data scrapes?
Yeah, you can. And like that's kind of like that's something I was trying to do, but I just ran out of time. But like right here you can do by like HTML attribute and like text content, meta tag, these different fields, and attribute names and stuff. I just didn't have the time to like learn how to do it. There's also community forum that like you can look at. Airtable forums are apparently they're usually pretty good. This one I guess it's kind of messed up because I know that they recently redid like their community forums, so some of their URLs are probably messed up. And like for like this right here, if you want to like add more options, it's pretty easy to edit a field and add like I don't know. I don't know if there's anywhere else I want to live. No, just kidding. I live in Cleveland too.
Anywhere warm these days, right?
Yeah, warm these days. So yeah, so that's kind of what that looks like, and it's actually like a pretty helpful tool because I'm actually using this because I'm gonna start looking for a job after like the fellowship and like and I think it's like a helpful thing because I was already using it earlier and I was like, oh, let me like send some information to this people. And then like I have two screens. So whenever I'm just like looking at the job description and all the information right here. And then like I'm like writing my cover letter at the other place. And you can also like link like all these different things like Google Documents and see there's like 20 sources. You can Tableau. There's a whole bunch of different stuff that you could link. Of course, like Salesforce's Enterprise, because Salesforce is always like expensive for everything. Automations is like super powerful. So like for my case, I was like, oh, whenever I have like an application submission that like I haven't heard back in 10 days, I send an email to myself that's like, hey, it has been 10 days since you kind of modified this. Like, and it'll give me a link to this exact record. And then like I could click this and it would like take me, I gotta show you if I click this. It'll take me directly to that location in Airtable, like just straight there. And I do that all the time with like my team members. I'm like, oh, this person moved to this situation, and they're like, it like sends them a notification with the URL, and then you have all the information here. Yeah, so that's kind of this. And if anybody wants this, I could send it to them. It was pretty easy to make. You can also like check it out and like play with it and mess around. You can create any animations you want. You can mess with interfaces. It's just drag and drop. If you like looking at your stuff in that kind of view. And I also wanted to just quickly touch on like another project that we're doing for VFA Latinx Rise Leads, or just I guess VFAmilia in general. We're trying to like kind of like use all of our like resources and like skill sharing to like kind of create a database of information that we can kind of like help each other. Like for example, I know a lot of stuff about the SBA because we're like a small business lender. So like there's a lot of different information that I was kind of like dropping links in here using the web scraper and like different information so that like if people wanted to like look in I don't know, like how business plan, like see write your business plan. So that was kind of like the goal, and maybe eventually we can get there so like everybody on this call can like fill out a form and like put some kind of information they want here. Here's some like a bunch of CDFIs, development financial institutions in here. Like these ones are Florida. I don't know if any Florida fellows need them. And like getting lists of things that we could share and kind of like share our resources to help each other out. And it's pretty cool because like this, like as you were mentioning earlier, Jax, like 5 people could have access to like the working database, but like if I put this in the chat, like everybody would be able to see this. See, and it's like anybody has access to this, but they can't edit it, so it's kind of cool. It's pretty cool. You can like comment on even like photos. Like nice. And it's like that's cool for like marketing teams, I guess. Like, hey, edit this little like weird thing or whatever. So I don't know if there's any other questions at this moment. Not, I don't know if Julian, you had something to say about like some hangout or something.
Sorry, say again.
Oh, I don't know if you had something to say about like anything after this, but yeah, that kind of concludes it. There's a whole bunch of different stuff you can do. This is like a project I'm working on with like community partners in Tulsa, like for elementary school. We're like trying to get them a whole bunch of presenters, and it's an example of like Google Docs linking in here. Trying to like get budgets and agendas so we can kind of like get a career fair going for them. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you could do linking data to each other, and it's powerful. That's all I got. I appreciate y'all for coming. I don't know what else.
Cool. Yeah, I could take it away from here. Thanks, Rafa.
Yeah.
If we could all give Rafa a round of applause, come on mute, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe giving a little emoji, you know what I'm saying?
Woo!
Yeah. Where we at?
Rafa.
Rafa.
AZ represent, baby.
Let's go.
Thank you.
So yeah, really
you.
appreciate Rafa stepping up to the plate. This is our first event as VFAmilia. We are like a very inclusive space, and honestly what we're trying to do and strive for is just help people out as far as like their initiatives, and then also cater to like the Latinx community, the small business community, and offer our resources here. So we're definitely like, you know, as we're building this, we expect to get like, you know, come up with more events, come up with more sharing skill sets. So definitely keep a lookout in the near future for more of these. And then if you're interested in even having sharing a skill set of yours, they think would be good for other people to hear and listen, feel free to reach out to us. And then we'll be more than happy to have you guys host an event, and then we'll do like the promo and everything as well. So I just want to say thank you to Rafa one more time, and thank you for everyone coming out. I know it's a Monday, so everyone definitely enjoy your Monday and enjoy the rest of your night. I'll see you guys.
Thank you. And I also have one more thing to say. If anybody like wants to like, I don't know, talk more about Airtable or like create like some kind of users group or like whatever, I'm totally in. I love talking about it, helping people, also getting help too sometimes. So let me know. But y'all have a great week. Thank you.
All right, y'all. Have a good one.
All right, bye.